Hi, everyone. It's Rebecca Imholtz with the Mount Pleasant Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to our weekly The Pivot. I am really looking forward to our conversation today because we're going to be talking with Kathi Hermann, the Mount Pleasant Towne Centre Marketing Director. Kathi also serves on our board for the Mount Pleasant Chamber of Commerce. We're going to be talking about how Towne Centre has pivoted during COVID-19 and all the wonderful events they have going on for the holidays, both outside, of course, and inside. So leading that conversation today is John Carroll, our host. And how are you today, John? Glad to have you once again with The Pivot.
Glad to be here. Thanks, Rebecca. Doing well, and I hope you are. As we cautiously get back out and outdoors, ideally. It's been good to see people being cautious about that and venturing out in a safe and healthy way. So glad to be here always for the Pivot. So we welcome everyone to the Pivot, a weekly series of informational discussions on our local, regional, and national issues in the midst of and following the current pandemic. This event is presented exclusively by the Mount Pleasant Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for taking the time with your Mount Pleasant Chamber of Commerce to join fellow members in staying informed to help you care for your team, your clients and customers, and take care of business in post-pandemic conditions. You know, we've done story after story here on the Pivot about flexing to pandemic conditions to keep sales and services open and moving whenever and wherever possible. How does that apply to an entire retail shopping center containing a wide variety of businesses? We'll look today at how the Mount Pleasant Towne Centre has pivoted to facilitate the various business it serves and their clients and customers. Our guest today on the Pivot is Kathi Hermann, Marketing Director for Mount Pleasant Towne Centre. She creates and implements marketing programs for the 500,000 plus square foot outdoor mixed-use shopping center, including events such as Lights Up, Fall Festival, Fido Fest, and Pup Bowl. Previously, she was Director of Marketing for 4 regional shopping centers on Long Island, including Roosevelt Field, the 6th largest shopping center in the United States. Kathi was awarded the Best of the Best Marketing Director Award in 2014 for her work at Walt Whitman Shops in Huntington Station, New York. Kathi has been in the shopping center marketing industry for more than 20 years. She majored in marketing and received a bachelor's degree in business administration from the University of Hartford. She and her husband, Danny, relocated to Mount Pleasant in February of 2016 and spend their time with their incredibly cute rescue shepherd mutt Herbie and 2 amazing cats, Josie and Fred. Kathi, welcome back to the Pivot.
Hi, John. Thank you so much for having me.
Glad to have you. You know, Kathi, it's been an interesting ride, hasn't it, since the spring?
Yes, it has.
Going back to the beginning of the pandemic and the resulting lockdown, you've had to pivot in many ways on behalf of the many businesses you serve at Mount Pleasant Towne Centre. In addition to everything else, you serve a diverse group where some businesses were designated essential and other businesses were ordered to shut down. Talk about the ins and outs of serving that diverse group in the middle of an unforeseen set of circumstances.
Well, I think the one thing about Mount Pleasant Towne Centre, well, there's many things I love about Towne Centre, of course, but especially during this time, we're an outdoor center. So we were very lucky that all of our retailers and restaurants have their own outdoor front door. And I say that in comparison to an enclosed shopping center where the front doors to the shopping centers were literally locked. We were able to keep our restaurants open the entire time, doing takeout and curbside pickup, which was an amazing thing for them to be able to do, to stay open. And their takeout business constantly was getting bigger and bigger. And so it was so successful that some of them now are still doing a huge takeout and curbside delivery service. Other stores that stayed open that were deemed essential are candy store, which is considered food. Again, they did everything that they could to keep their name out there. They prepared all of your orders for you. They added a new website to place your orders, did curbside pickup, GNC, our wine store. They all really embraced what they could to keep their businesses open. And then as stores and retail were finally allowed to start reopening, everyone really focused on the health and wellness of not only the store employees, but the guests. And they continue to do that to this day. Masks are required in all of our stores, and that's the choice of the store owners and workers. And people are paying attention and they are following the rules. And but so from a marketing perspective, John, it was very difficult. It was changed every day. And so one day something was open and one day something was closed. And as a marketing director, my job is to make sure that our guests know what is going on at my center. So it was a challenge. It was very challenging for me. I've been in this business a long time, but I've never encountered marketing like this before. And so it was a learning experience, something I'm hoping is going to end soon and I'll never have to do again. But we were able to really keep the word out there. And so Town Center, in theory, never shut down. So we were very blessed with that.
Wow, so oh my goodness. In one sense, you're the center where you have to open your umbrella from store to store or door to door, right? Which some people might think it detracts, but in these circumstances, it was the saving grace.
Exactly. I've actually, when I first started here 5 years ago, I thought that the weather would have an impact on our shopping center, but believe it or not, I think so, because of the stores and the restaurants that we have, our guests will put their umbrella up and they will go. But you know what, you're absolutely right. The being outdoors, I think it made people feel safer. And again, we did not have literal doors to lock on the shopping center.
Wow, it's amazing the lessons we learned just from what has happened, right?
Yes.
And thank heavens here in Mount Pleasant, and we have some pretty hardy shoppers. Would you agree?
Oh, I agree.
It's going to take more than a little few drops of rain to keep them away from the great sales.
And I have noticed too, a lot of our stores now are still focusing on curbside pickup. And I was actually in Old Navy yesterday, and they have a whole new area set up right at the front of the store for online pickups. And I was amazed at the amount of purchases that were there waiting to be picked up. So I mean, if you are still not feeling 100% secure going into a store, there are options from every single one of our stores to place an order for curbside pickup, or just run in and pre-order and grab your belongings or grab your purchases. So I'm saying 99% of the stores have that available for our shoppers.
That's really good to know, especially for the people who don't feel comfortable going in and doing their browsing like they would normally, right?
Correct. I think browsing has definitely slowed down. I think that people are very focused on what they're looking to buy. And so, again, our websites as well. So the majority of our stores all have their own website. So feel free to go and look online and know what you were looking to purchase. But we'd love to have you come in person and pick it up.
We're always welcome to come in person. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So talk about the in-person events, because one of the advantages you have of being an outdoor center, obviously, is that you can have gatherings that really allow the climate to, be in your favor, right? So
Yes.
what events are you able to host and accommodate during that are coming up, and which ones have gone virtual?
Well, we're very blessed too. The town of Mount Pleasant is allowing gatherings of up to 250 people. So we're using that to our advantage. And we've been able to host some really incredible in-person events for the first time since March was our last in-person event. Our Live Under the Oaks concert series, which is outdoors in our park area. And they were scheduled for every Thursday in October. However, we had 2 rain delays. So now we're moving. Our last one is this Thursday, November 19th. But what we've done is we tried to make people feel comfortable, John. So we created what we call people hoops. So there are these big hoops that we lay in the event area, and our guests are asked to sit in their hoop. And if they leave their hoop, they need to put their mask on. If they're walking around the event, they need to put their mask on. If they're going to get food or drink from Burton's Grill. And people have really embraced being outside and being able to listen to great live local music. So that has been amazing. And we've had a great turnout. We've never gone over our limit. That makes me very happy. But everyone is really spaced out, and we get amazing feedback. So again, this Thursday, the 19th, is our last one. We've been able to do smaller ticketed events. We did our annual fundraiser for the Roper St. Francis Foundation Breast Cancer Program. It's called Pink Promenade. We held that on Saturday, October 17th. That's a ticketed event. So we went in there and we said, okay, how many chairs can we socially distantly place in our park? That's how many tickets we're going to sell. And it was 100 chairs, and we sold 100 tickets.
Nice.
It was an amazing event. Again, outside, when you were not in your chair, you had to wear your mask, and everybody complied to the rules. We also do a pause on the patio at Burton's Grill, which is a fundraiser for the Charleston Animal Society. And we've had to change that. It used to be all welcome, as many people that wanted to come, and we had a buffet and all that. So now it's reservations are mandatory. The food is put on your table for you. You have a certain table arrangement. And again, but people are just so excited to be able to go and sit outside. And we've been really blessed to be able to put these events on. You mentioned virtually. Throughout the entire pandemic, we actually did a fitness series virtually with our partner Athleta. It was supposed to have been held in our park outside, but we didn't want anyone to feel uncomfortable, especially in the earlier days of the pandemic. So we did it all summer and all fall. We did an online virtual fitness series every Wednesday night, and it was so successful. We're going to bring it back in January. So we're looking forward to that. It's still sad. One of our biggest events of the year is Fall Festival, which is our celebration of Halloween. And it includes our pet costume contest, which raises money for, again, the Charleston Animal Society. And it's a huge success. We couldn't do the event this year. We could not figure out a way to limit the attendance, but we did bring the costume contest online. And so we still were we made a donation to the Charleston Animal Society for everyone who sent in a picture, and we let the public vote on it. And it was really a lot of fun. We had over 30 entries, which I was really excited about, and a huge engagement from the community, and still a way to partially do what we wanted to do to celebrate Halloween.
Are those available? I think there are some people that would enjoy seeing those pets all dressed up.
They are actually on our Facebook page, and one of our photo albums. You will see the top 8 finalists from the contest that our guests were able to vote for.
Fantastic. I'll bet there were some people that really got into that this year.
They did. And it was really fun. I wish I could have voted. I also wish I could have put Herbie in a costume and put him in the contest, but I didn't want anyone to favor me. So
yeah, you're not eligible. Sorry, Kathy. But that said, fantastic on the flexing. So let's talk about another big event that you have each year. It's Lights Up. It's generally happening around this time, and you've had to flex with it as well. Talk about that.
Lights Up is simply the best event of the year, and as far as I'm concerned. It is the kickoff to the holiday season. It's held every year on the Saturday before Thanksgiving. Last year, we estimated anywhere between 4,000 and 5,000 people attended our event. We tried so hard, John, to figure out some possible way to have this event live this year. But it took, after weeks and weeks of discussing opportunities, we just could not fairly limit the amount of people that came. We wanted it to be safe. Our employees, our store employees are our utmost priority, and bringing that amount of people to Town Center in one area, because that's where the tree is, it was just not what we wanted to do. But we also couldn't let the holidays be kicked off in any other fashion. So what we've done this year is we've taken the majority of the elements of Lights Up, and we actually hired a production company, and we have filmed an amazing version of Lights Up. and it will go live on our MountPleasantTownCenter.com website on Saturday, November 21st at 7 p.m. when is normally when the tree would be lit.
I've seen the crowds. I have been there for the event, and so there's a bittersweet place there because, as you know, to see those crowds and to see people get excited about that has been so heartwarming. And now, even though you won't see those crowds, you're going to bring the magic of video production to that same and bring the same emotions along with it.
Yes, there is nothing in the world we want more than to be able to have our event the way it's always been. This would have been my 5th Lights Up. It continues to get bigger and better every year. And the comments that we receive from the families about how it's their tradition, how they wouldn't miss it, how it's the best night of the year. We wanted to make sure we incorporated everything that they loved about it and bring it to them. We've received some great comments from people for this year's event saying, thank you for putting so much work into this. You could have just said, flip the switch, but we didn't. We decided that we wanted to make it as it has been in the last few years, and you could just watch it from the safety of your house. And I'm excited too, because it could be seen by everybody. So people who have been here that perhaps moved out of town that used to love it now can watch it. My family and friends all over the country can watch what I've done and how we celebrate the holidays at Mount Pleasant Towne Centre. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's great. And, we were able to incorporate Brian Cleary, who's always been our host, is back. We've got amazing entertainment by the East Cooper Baptist Church Orchestra and Choir, who have never missed an event. Gravel Road Acoustic Trio, they were featured last year as well and a huge crowd favorite. Our charity this year is again Camp Rise Above. We worked with them last year, and so we're so excited to be able to promote all of their programs and services. Amazing organization. And of course, we've got the one and only Santa Claus, who's going to be lighting the tree with a camper from Camp Rise Above. So the only thing that's missing is the laser light show. We couldn't figure out a way to get that laser light show in there. So hopefully next year we can bring the laser light show back. We want everyone to just enjoy it. So just stay home with your family, sit on the couch, kick off the holidays with us, Saturday the 21st at 7.
Fantastic. Kathi, talk a little bit about, because you've mentioned several charitable organizations, talk about Mount Pleasant Towne Center's commitment to the community in that way.
Well, I do. I think it's one of my most important roles of my job. For instance, I mentioned our Pink Promenade event, and we're partners with Roper St. Francis Healthcare on a bunch of other events we did, but there was nothing particularly, they were fun. It was our fall festival, it was our lights up, but then we created Pink Promenade specifically to showcase this foundation, the work they're doing for breast cancer patients in the Low Country. That's the most important thing I can do in my job. When we have an event at Towne Centre, any of our larger events, I should say, there's always a charitable organization, the beneficiary of that event. This year, it was difficult because we couldn't hold events, but they're always featured. They always will be featured. I feel that Towne Centre is really the heart of Mount Pleasant. And I think that giving back to our community is the most important thing that we can do.
And Kathi, we didn't talk about this question prior, but what of all the things that you've had to do as a center and your businesses located there have had to do, which of those things do you think will stick? You've made reference to the fact that, boy, takeout and curbside delivery seems to be a hit. What do you think that you've had to do for the pandemic that will still be around after it's in our rearview mirror?
Well, let's hope it's in our rearview mirror very soon, John. I think that some of the services that have been provided by the stores have proved to be very successful for them, and I think they're going to continue to do that. Outdoor dining, well, we all know outdoor dining is huge in Mount Pleasant, but I also think, for instance, during the wintertime, A lot of our restaurants did not have heaters. And so I think that they're starting to think about adding those to continue the outdoor dining through the colder months here. So I think that's a really great opportunity for them to still attract people who might not be willing to go inside to a restaurant. But I also know that every store that we have is doing everything they can to keep our shoppers safe. We want you to come back to shop. The holidays are here. And I don't want this pandemic to ruin the holidays for everyone. So if you're looking for a gift, if you need a gift, if you want to go take a stroll, we're having our horse-drawn carriage rides again. Santa Claus is coming. We have the tree. We have beautiful decor all throughout the property. Our big joy sign and our 22-foot reindeer. All these things are here for our guests to enjoy. So we want you to feel comfortable coming back. And I think that everything that we do in the future is always going to be about what can we do more for our guests.
I will say, Kathi, nobody lights it up quite like Mount Pleasant Towne Centre. That main entrance is just beautiful with that. I consider it a tunnel, but that tunnel of lighting that you come underneath, that's just beautiful.
It makes
so
my
thank
heart.
You for that. And
yeah, it makes my heart swell, John. You're not the only one who's told me that. And I get to go there every day and I get to see it every day and I get to enjoy it every day. And I'm so glad to hear that our guests do too.
And of course, when we talk about colder weather, we it's all relative, isn't it, Kathi?
Yes.
Having come down from Long Island, where that would be difficult at best.
Yes, I actually did. I did a little work for an outdoor shopping center up in downstate New York, a little bit north of Long Island. It was an outdoor shopping center. We did a tree lighting, and it was cold. But I did have some idea of what it was going to be like to battle the weather elements, because not only do we know it loves to rain here, and when it rains, it pours. But I've been able to kind of learn how to work around what Mother Nature has planned for us. But we have a beautiful area to work in, and we're just going to continue to add more events. As 2021 starts, we're going to try and do our Pup Bowl again. This will be our Pup Bowl 4. And that is a huge adoption event every year for the Charleston Animal Society. So we're meeting right now to discuss how we can do this to meet the restrictions and occupancy restrictions, but we're going to do it. We're going to make it work. And that's our goal. We're just going to continue to make it work.
Fantastic. Thanks, Kathi. Let's get Rebecca back in here, because she may have a question or two about what you've got going on and how you've had to pivot and flex.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Kathi. And I love the hoop term, because I've heard of stay in your bubble, stay in your pod, but now stay in your hoop. So I like how you all kinds of interesting terms out there now, isn't it, during the pandemic. Something you mentioned to me before we started the conversation today, which I think is something that we can share with everybody listening and watching, is if you do want to go to an outside restaurant to eat outside during the holidays, recommended you make a reservation, because I'm sure you're not the only one who perhaps wants to eat outside. So I want to just make that point. Any other tips you have regarding what we should look for before we do head to Town Center?
Well, again, I'm really glad you brought that up, Rebecca, because the majority of our restaurants are still keeping to limited capacity, even though they don't have to. They're doing it for the safety of their employees, for the comfort of our guests. And so outdoor dining with the restaurants who have patios is people, that's where they want to go sit. They want to sit outside, especially with this beautiful weather. So if there's a particular restaurant you'd like to visit, and they have an outdoor patio, I just suggest you make an appointment. People love to sit outside. And now, as John mentioned too, you get to see all the beautiful decor. So for instance, Grimaldi's is right on Belt Drive, and they've got a beautiful patio out in front of their restaurant. And you can sit and watch the beautiful swag lights. You can see the Christmas tree. You can see the joy sign. It's just such an amazing atmosphere. So I just suggest making some reservations before you go.
Great point. Inside or outside, make a reservation. It is the holidays after all. It's a busy time of year. Do you engage with other shopping centers in other parts of the country? I know that we're very unique because we're on the coast, our weather permits us to walk outside and shop. But are you talking with other shopping centers? How are they weathering the pandemic? Are they doing as well as Town Center?
Well, it depends on if it's an outdoor shopping center or an enclosed regional shopping center. My past life was enclosed regional shopping centers. So those were the big boys, very much like Citadel and Northwoods, that were all inside. And they were not able to reopen as quickly as an outdoor shopping center could. But again, now they are working with all the CDC guidelines, making sure about social distancing and hand sanitizing, et cetera. So they're all back open again. Town Center is blessed, as I mentioned before, to be an outside shopping center. And even when stores are busy with their limited capacity inside their store, we're working with them on placing 6-foot social distancing circles outside the store, especially with the upcoming holidays. So there's always going to be social distancing. We're always going to make sure there's a limited amount of people inside the stores. But to answer your question, yes, I have friends and colleagues all over the country. We're talking to each other. Some are doing their tree lighting events in person. How they're doing it, it's wonderful. But we decided to do the virtual. We're going over ideas. What parts of Santa are you going to have? What parts are you not going to have? So it's a big family, this business, and I'm very blessed to know a lot of people in it. Business-wise, I have to assume Town Center is doing the best because it's mine. But I would think that the outdoor shopping centers are doing, or just a little bit more comfortable to go to an outdoor shopping center at this time.
And I'm a clothes horse. I love clothes. So what I've also learned is that I can do some online, but you have some retail shops in Town Center where if I find something that doesn't work for me, I can bring it back in person and then take an opportunity to see what you have there as well. So
yes,
there's lots of opportunities to not just do online, but sort of do a combo of
correct.
Online and in person. So
yes. And remember, the majority of the stores, especially the larger ones, their fitting rooms are not open at this time. So just keep that in mind, but they are all accepting returns. So they understand, they prefer you go home. And then I understand that they put the clothes in isolation for a few days before they put them back on the floor to make sure that they're clean.
Good to know.
That is good to know.
Yeah, again, everyone is doing their part to keep everybody safe.
Huh.
So I could see that, Kathy, working out to be something like, well, I like both of these pairs of pants, but I really need to try them on. I can buy them both, take them back and decide on one or the other or both. And then if I need to take one back, they'll accept that.
Correct. I mean, every store has their own exchange and return policy. So I would suggest you speak to them about it. But again, the majority of the stores don't have their dressing rooms open. So they are making a lot of exceptions to exchanges and returns.
Good to know.
Gift cards.
Good
Don't
to know.
forget gift
Thank you.
cards. So
Don't forget the gift cards. That's right. That's right.
Kathy,
It's,
how about
go ahead.
a final thought and where people can find you? I know they know where to find Mount Pleasant Towne Centre, but where they can find you.
Well, my final thought, John, is it has been very interesting planning for the holidays for this year. I've been marketing director in shopping centers for a very long time, and this is certainly the most challenging. But it's also, to me, it's been really special because the focus has been on things that we've never focused on before. It's really more, it's not just about getting 5,000 people to lights up. It's about making sure that our event is brought to our guests. And I want everyone to realize that the traditions can continue. The holidays are still coming. I know we've had some very difficult times these last, I can't believe 6 months, but we're open. We're here for you. We want you to continue your traditions. We want you to come visit. We're doing everything we can to keep you safe. And we wish everybody a really happy holiday season. And remember that, family, friends, love, holidays, traditions. That's what's most important.
Okay. And you've got a pretty good online presence, Kathi. Where can people find you and those dressed up puppies?
Well, we have a Facebook page, shopmptc.com. Our Instagram handle is, again, shopmptc.com. And shop MPTC, I'm sorry. And MountPleasantTowneCenter.com is our website. And remember, that's where we're going lights up on Saturday, the 21st at 7:00.
On the website.
I hope everyone enjoys it as much as we do.
We will be there with bells on, Kathi, I promise. Thank you, Kathi Hermann, Marketing Director for Mount Pleasant Towne Centre. Thanks to all of our chamber members who join us each week here at the Pivot. And a big thank you to the Mount Pleasant Chamber's own Rebecca Imholtz, who keeps us on track each and every week. From all of us at the Mount Pleasant Chamber of Commerce, thank you for joining us this week for the Pivot. Make it a great week.